So, Jeff.
Yes.
We talked a little bit before we started here.
Yep.
You guys all you guys out there that have been long-time listeners, you may recognize that voice over there. And super stoked to have him in the studio. And we were just talking before, this is a brand new studio for you because Jeff goes all the way back a long time ago, and you actually made the comment you were going to go in the old studio, which was the old.
That's where I thought we were headed.
Yeah, and it caught me off guard because I'm like, what? Because you have not been here since then, and we used to do it down in that small office. We've since moved up in the studio, of course. John, I'm glad you made it too, buddy.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to be back on the sofa.
Absolutely.
You were on folding chairs, Jeff, last time.
I was, yeah.
And,
stuck in a corner.
Stuck in a corner.
Where I belonged.
Would you like a whiskey, Jeff?
Out of the question. I think we've talked about that. Yeah.
John, he doesn't want a whiskey anymore. He
just want to get whiskey drink.
That was a great episode, though, Jeff. Whiskey or no whiskey?
That's what I heard.
I am, on the other hand, going to have a wet my whistle.
Cheers.
The thing about drinking a few cocktails and podcasting is everybody's failed.
Yes.
All the hosts at some point have failed.
It's not safe.
No, it's not.
No.
But they all know now, after failing once, that they know how to regulate it now. So, like when Popeye comes, he knows, or Matt, first episode, whiskey. And then a beer maybe on second episode if we're batch processing, because that's it. There's a fine line between having a cocktail and then but hey, Matt's done it, Rob's done it, Popeye's done it, Jake's done it. So it makes for great reminiscing.
Yeah, it does.
All right. Should we, I guess we should just frickin' do this episode, huh? What do you think about that? That's right, Bikeaholics. Bug Slide. Absolutely the best waterless motorcycle cleaner on the market. Bug Slide tried and tested right here by the law-abiding biker crew and is our number one, Jeff, go-to waterless motorcycle cleaner. Bug Slide cleans, shines, and degreases while removing bugs and other surface contaminants with ease. Use it on your motorcycle, your wife's car. Jeff, that's how you get brownie points. Your boat and more. Never need to wax again, John. Never need to wax that Indian again. That's right, because the release agent, John, in Bug Slide contains a UV filter for added protection. It's free of abrasives and is safe on all non-porous surfaces. Yes, Bikeaholics, even safe on your Harley, that pesky Harley denim paint. I'm telling you, because I used it on my denim paint. We believe in it so much, we carry it in stock right now in the Law Abiding Biker store, lawabidingbiker.com/store. Big Daddy Kane has it ready to ship to you direct right now. Don't forget to grab a bottle of Bike Bright while you're there, guys, for when you absolutely got to dig in, wet wash, and detail your bike. Hey, Bikeaholics and listeners alike, the show is still going strong because of a lot of hard work and your support, of course. Thanks to all those loyal listeners and true friends of the show that have supported us or are supporting us. For less than a coffee a month, you can help support us too and put a little fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank to make sure this show keeps moving on down the road. So, calling all law-abiding bikers, head over to our Patreon page and take action today. You can do so at lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Oh, did I mention there's benefits too? From all your friends at lawabidingbiker.com, we appreciate each and every one of you. God bless and ride safe. Was it this high-tech, Jeff, last time?
Yes, it was.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Because I can't remember.
Well, as far as that portion of it is concerned, you didn't do that.
Okay. So, right, because we didn't have the store then and all that.
Did not have the store.
Yeah. We got to get you hooked up with a bottle of Bug Slide. Maybe we already did.
Well, on our trip, you used it on my bike.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We did. Welcome back, Bikeaholics. Appreciate you being here. This is the podcast for the Big MM, the motorcycle majority, also known as the... John, do you know?
99%.
Jeff, look at that.
Very
right
good.
Back
Very
in the
good.
saddle. Dang. That's right, Bikeaholics. I just have one question before we get ramped up here. What are you waiting for? Mount up. Let John, Jeff, and I take you on another wild-ass ride. That is right, and we discussed it, guys. Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
John kicking right in there. John. That's Indian John's.
I was waiting to hear what you had for him. I hadn't heard. So.
Now I'm getting ready to dance here.
Yeah. Last time
a weather change, I predict.
Last time I played this for John in the studio, he stripped down to like some buffalo briefs.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad I missed that one.
Now that's fun and all, but I'm telling you, this makes John this is what I want you to visualize as I get going here. This is Indian John. Okay. I got Indian John here in the studio. You got to picture him on his Indian. Okay. In nothing but buffalo briefs. No shirt, Jeff. No shirt, no shoes. Just buffalo briefs with a bow and arrow slung over his back and feathers.
I'm an Indian outlaw.
You got to picture it.
I can't.
And
I can't do that.
It's pretty disturbing, isn't it?
And he's rolling in for a club ride.
No, I can't do that to myself. I can't do that.
You won't be able to sleep at night for a long time.
Okay, yeah.
Visions like that.
You can find me in my wick.
Oh, but that's a badass song. Oh yeah, and then of course, right here.
There we go.
Yes, that's right, guys. Sturgis Jeff back in the studio, guys, and came down 2-hour ride. John came up about a 45 minute.
Yeah, 45 minutes. Yeah.
Yep. You guys met up and showed up here. Mm-hmm. Fed you some burgers.
Oh, they're excellent
It was
burgers
great.
too. Thank you.
Double burgers out
Awesome.
that.
Oh, yeah.
They were. Very good.
But seriously, guys, before we get rocking and rolling here, I do appreciate you both. This was hard. It wasn't. Somebody was flexible, and it was both of you probably to make schedules work so we could get up. Our main topic, we will be getting in here, guys. It's going to be, we're going to have to split this in 2 parts, and the guys are up here to bust out 2 parts with me because we do batch process just the way when I get these guys in the studio, I got to lock them in and make sure I get 2 episodes out of them because schedules don't always align. The stars don't align. Now, if you want to get hooked up with the live experience, lawabidingbiker.com/live. That's all you need to remember. We're having a few hiccups with our, maybe by this time I'll have it figured out, but Blab IM, we used to use the Blab platform. It went down, and I'm experimenting with some other stuff today. We're on YouTube Live via Google Hangouts. By the time this airs in podcast format, we do have quite a few viewers live right now. I don't know if that's the platform. I'm just testing it tonight. But again, you don't have to worry about it. Don't stress about it. Just head over to lawabidingbiker.com/live. And whatever platform we're using, it will be embedded on the page there. And you can view live right there. And you can check for when new episodes. Don't forget to get signed up for that free live email list. It's over there in the upper right hand of the page. The only emails you'll get by signing up there is when we are going live. There'll be a big giant button on that email with the time. You can come back, hit that button. It will take you, again, to whatever platform we've chosen to use long term. I was very disappointed about Blab. John, I think that's what we were on last time.
Yes, we were.
Did somebody call in when we did that?
I think there's a couple, 3 guys called in when we were on.
You're right. And that's the thing I really liked about the Blab experiences. We could have callers call in. Now, apparently you can do that here with YouTube Live via Google Hangouts. But I don't know if I have my settings right or not. So we'll be testing it, guys. But again, just head over to lawabidingbiker.com/live. You'll be all squared away there. And we interacted with a lot of patrons. What happened to the notes up there? Stand by.
I was going to say, I didn't see the notes up there. And
stand by. I'll get the notes up here for you guys. The TV went out for some reason. I don't know why.
But while you're doing that, if I could throw a shout out to a couple of patrons, we'd like to thank Brent from Rancho Cordova, California for his support, John Cole of Glenpool, Oklahoma, and last but not least, Mark Neustadt of Madison, Wisconsin. Thank you guys for your support. I know I appreciate it. I know Ryan really, really appreciates it. And if it wasn't for your support, Ryan, would we be able to do what we do?
Nope, we wouldn't have been able to move into the future and as hardcore as we have because that allows us to fund this thing. It costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of time. And it costs a lot of services, just like we might have to pay for a live broadcast service now. You know, that's another fee if we don't get away with using Google Hangouts. There's all kinds of fees. So we appreciate it. They took action. Thanks, John, for doing that. That's right. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Get signed up. That's right, guys. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk. Put a monthly cap on it, guys. That's right. We would like to have you involved with the private Facebook group and some of the other benefits you can get by signing up. Well done. And you took care of that. And I got your monitor up while you were doing that, John. What do you think about that for teamwork?
No doubt. Awesome.
Now, we're going to get into it here, guys. And you guys too know about this. These are the videos, the documentary I did on, this was our 2016 Colorado motorcycle trip. We're going to break it. This is part 1 of 1, and we'll break it in and have part 2 of 2. But prior to this, I did, I filmed a lot while we were there. You guys remember some of this?
Yes.
Most of it. And I want to publicly thank both of you for putting up with me and all the film gear that I had, and constantly letting me time-lapse stuff and film you and tease you. Thank you. You guys are good sports.
It was fun. Right. I can speak for myself.
It was. It's amazing how people, they're curious about it, but then when you understand what you're doing, they're pretty receptive to it.
Yeah. If you act, I noticed at first I wasn't so good at it, especially just going out, and just filming people. I don't really care what they think now. I mean, I do. I mean that lightly. But if you go out and do it, and clearly you know what you're doing, and you have, especially when you can yell out, "Hey, you're going to be on Law Abiding Biker YouTube," people are like, then they're getting, it's a huge YouTube channel. It's a motorcycle YouTube. And so it did take time for me to learn what to say. And if you just do it like you know what you're doing, and then people really just don't seem to care as much.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think the only ones that I saw that might have been even the least bit suspicious would have been people that work for the businesses that we walked into.
Okay.
Yeah. When they have that going, okay, who's this person? Why are you coming? Why are you filming my business and whatnot? When they understand what it is, everybody just is cool with it.
Interesting. Cause you see a lot of that. Yeah. I'm not paying attention because I don't have time. I'm working on the angles and the film. I just got to get the footage. So you guys might have seen some other people and eyes that I don't pay attention to.
Yeah, it's like they think you're from the health department or something.
Right.
Something like that. But when they hear what it's about, then they're just fine with it.
Right.
They just go on with what they're doing.
Well, good. Yeah, go ahead, John.
Which, when they reacted like it, it's usually the second employee. So you're filming and talking to the first employee. Second employee walks up and has this look on their face, which kind of concerns me because I'm thinking, okay, why are you concerned if you think we're from the health department or something?
Right. True. Should we be eating here?
Exactly.
Maybe we'll find out if it's a safe place to eat really quick. So with that said, these guys were sports, and I literally filmed everything. I took portable film gear. I have a portable kit as much as I can do on a Harley because I can't take my big, expensive stuff because it just won't fit. But anyways, then I came home and I spent, I kid you not, I think I told you guys that took me
30 hours.
Yeah, took me like 36 hours buried in the studio, post-editing a 2-part video documentary on LAB motorcycle trip, Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, ride along, see who we meet. 2-part documentary. You can go over there because we're going to reference a lot of this stuff. And if you want to see it, I wasn't sure. It's actually the first time I've done a documentary on our summer trip, and so much work went into it. I told people, I said, I will try it and see if they come, see if the viewers come. Because I don't know what, I'm still building the YouTube channel. And I was like, if it doesn't get a lot of views or people really don't comment positively about it, then I won't do it again. But I got to test it, see if it's worth my time and the work, and see if people appreciate it. Well, unbelievable. If we go here to the amount of comments that I was getting on it, I honestly didn't know. I was like, I'm not sure if people are going to like this. Let's go here. So just this one, part 1, almost 5,000 views. And it's only been out, a month? Not even.
Right.
Like close to a month. And part 2 has the same, it seems like almost the same views. If people are watching, they're each about 30 minutes. I get it. It's a time commitment, but the comments, look at this.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And nothing. We haven't had one negative comment on some of the videos. You always get a few internet trolls. This one, everybody has thanked me for taking the time and how they loved riding along with it and how I did it. They said some people said that was so different than what other people are doing. It was so quick and fast paced. You guys noticed when you watched it, it was moving,
well, yeah.
Not just boring riding for 10 minutes. You can't do that.
Right.
That's boring.
I was amazed by it when I watched it, simply because a lot of what you did, we never saw it. You know, like what you were doing when you were announcing this is day 2, this is day 1, and here's what, you know, so like, say for instance,
my vlogging in the morning. You're right.
And your ride to Sunnyside, when you met up with us,
right?
You'd done all kinds of stuff up until that point. We didn't know.
Good call.
And like when you were in the motel and talking about what you were going to be doing, what we were going to be doing the next day, and whatnot, and then you get up and announce it's the time, and you were filming yourself when you were out there packing the bike, and that stuff we never saw.
Good call, right? Because I don't think,
that was the neat thing about it. I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it since you sent it out to us, and so I had a lot of fun with it.
Good.
Wife did too.
Awesome. Oh, she watched it too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
My family sat down and watched it too, and I'm going to get better at that, and hopefully do that on. It's just so much work, but I know it's when I get comments like this, I know it has to be worth it, and it hones my skills, and using different video equipment and stuff. So hopefully, I'll keep going with it next year, and if you guys do want to watch it at any time you want to get to it, lawabidingbiker.com/vlog, VLOG 30. That'll get you to the webpage right here, John and Jeff. That's where it resides, and both videos are there. There's our lovely waitress from Jackson Hole. Remember her?
She's kind of a case in point. When she understood what you were doing, then you can see, like in that photo right there, how she loosened up and had a lot of fun with it.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yes,
she did.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of the generational, but a lot of people realize, you know, what YouTube is now, and its place in entertainment, and a lot of those kind of people, you know, tend to watch YouTube, and so they realize when you say it's a big YouTube channel, check it out, and you throw them a card, or you tell them check out Law Abiding Biker, you're going to be on the YouTube. That they like that. It spurs them. It spurs them on. So, all right, I just wanted to get that out, and thanks, man. Thanks. I'm glad you two liked the video.
Oh yeah.
And I think so far it's worth the effort that I put into it, and we'll have it for years, if nothing, you know, as friends. With that said, let's jump right in. And I've got this, and I did not put this link for you guys. I forgot, but it just kind of goes over. And we're just going to kind of break down the trip. Oh, Jeff, before we get started, I do have a serious question for you. Maybe you can answer it.
Can you imagine now a world without a cell phone? Absolutely not. Impossible.
Just look it up.
How could you?
You know I was going to do something.
You've been waiting all week for that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Straight up one for me. That's all I'm saying. Don't worry, I got a few others.
Throw all that aside. Hop on a bike and go. I don't remember that one.
You don't?
That must have been part 2.
It may have been
after a little bit of the whiskey.
You're right. Jeff does know a world without cell phones. So do I, on a side note, and so do you, John.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Long before that. But all right, so let's just break it down now. John, you took copious notes on this trip too, because I saw you journaling, and so I know John has some probably notes and things that I didn't. But let's just break it down. I'll get it started, and let me just get it rolling. And then anytime you guys, this is just going to be a casual conversation about things we did, things we would maybe do different, things we liked that we did, places we liked, and all that. It's really open discussion, open narrative to whatever you guys want to add. So this trip was June 20th through 25th of 2016. Now, interesting thing on this one, just the 3 of us were the only people that could go, which was odd for us, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was.
Yeah, it seemed like this was the trip that almost didn't happen because of a variety of things that happened to people related to our group and our schedules. Some people had changes in employment that prevented them that, they just didn't have time off available to go. Other folks had family commitments. LD blew out his knee.
Yeah.
ACL. ACL. The ACL deal, what was that, a week or 2 before our trip?
Mm-hmm.
And so it just almost fell apart completely. And I think that's an important thing to share with folks is that despite all those challenges, I'm going to say challenges, the 3 of us, we still did it. And and I know that the rest of the guys wanted to, but just weren't able to, But I'm glad that we did it all the same.
Yes, I agree. It was 3 was now I like having everybody. Of course, just for the camaraderie kind of stuff. But with 3 people, no bullshit. We can move.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
And I have to say, although I wouldn't take that over having all my friends there, I have to say, getting in and out, we were efficient sons of bitches.
Oh, yeah.
In for gas, out for gas,
Yep.
in for meals, out for meals.
Yep.
Because it's usually a gaggle, huh, Jeff?
Everybody knows, when you're traveling in a larger group, when you're riding in a larger group, you have so many different styles.
Right.
Something eventually, no matter what it is that you're doing, there's somebody that's going to be doing something different that, might throw a monkey wrench into it, might slow it down, might speed it up. There's a comfort zone that, someone's going to step out of it. With 3 guys, like you said, yeah, it's very efficient, in and out. We were just pretty much easily agreeable to the same schedule.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
And we knew we had to make time. But I have to say, I did. I'm just going to publicly say I liked it. And we all really think alike. And we were up and out. I mean, I was up early. You guys were up early too, but I was out getting my video vlog morning. And
we didn't know that.
Yeah,
but
right. I was. Yeah. God, just the ease of getting in and out. And a funny saying, when you take a lot of guys, because you alluded to it a little bit. And it was one of our friends that used to go on our trips, Mario, with us. And he would always say, as we entered the trip and we'd have our first lunch or whatever, and we're going to be together 7 days, he goes, we're all friends going into this trip. Hopefully we'll all be friends coming out. Because it just reminded you, when you have 15 or 10 guys, and like you say, somebody has a little bit different agenda, you gotta roll.
It's the simple things that crash, we're, as I suppose everybody knows, we're all cops. Some work nights, some work days. That becomes a factor.
You're right.
When when it's time to get up in the morning.
True.
By those that work nights versus those that work days. And eventually, it's not that it becomes a conflict, but it becomes apparent.
Oh, it becomes a conversation over beers and busting each other's balls, about, we're getting up, whether you want to or not, because we got a 9.5 hour day, Yeah. So anyways, with that said, so I leave here and you guys are waiting for me at Sunnyside. And John, you want to talk about this a little bit? There was a special occasion for you?
There was. And
were you expecting it?
No.
Okay. Because
I was kind of wondering. I thought, well, I think I did everything right, and I'm good to go here. But no, I did not expect that at all, and it was really sweet. And so
John got us. Yeah, go ahead.
Got my cut.
Yeah,
got my club cut, and so
I asked him why he wasn't wearing it when I got there. Remember?
Yes, you did.
I didn't realize that.
Sorry, I did not mean to do that, guys. I have 2 keyboards here, so sorry. Go back to what you're saying.
I thought he had it. I thought he already had it.
Oh,
I did not realize that he did not have it. So I asked him when I got there. He was there first, and when I got there, I asked him where it was, and then he told me he didn't have it yet. I said, "What?
That's funny."
Yeah. So I had asked him seriously. I knew nothing about what you were doing, and so I asked him where his cut was.
Yeah,
and why he wasn't wearing his cut.
That's funny.
And then he told me that he didn't have it yet. I said, okay, because I had no idea. So yeah, when you showed up with that, okay.
And
now I got it.
Yeah, and the gal that does our alterations, she literally, she was behind schedule on it. She was supposed to have it done, and she didn't get that done until Friday afternoon. And I made sure. I was like, I called her. I'm like, I have to have this. And I went in late Friday and picked it up, so we would have it because we left Monday, right? Was it a Monday?
Wow.
Was it a Monday we left?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Because we came back Saturday. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
it was
correct.
Monday
because
through Saturday.
Construction was out.
You're right. All right. So, John, anything else about your Sworn Few MC cut?
Well, I got my cut. I was feeling good. Changing out my stuff. I had my Indian motorcycle vest on, so I had a few things in the pockets, and I'm changing that stuff out. And apparently, I forgot my bottle of water.
Oh yeah, first debacle of the trip, dude.
You betcha. And so we're getting, but I was feeling good.
We had 2 within minutes.
What was our second debacle?
That construction.
Oh yes, you're right. Like, yeah. where the big curb and the construction all tore up.
We'd made it about a mile and a half before the bottle debacle.
John's bottle debacle was. You must have left it on your back seat or something. Anyways, it got caught between the bag and the taillight, and it was already starting to rub. And I saw it and got you to emergency pullover. And then you're right, Jeff. It wasn't a mile out, 2 miles after that. Freaking construction.
Yes, it was folks. Nasty.
It was nasty construction.
Yeah,
I was like a 6-8 inch curb drop off into the groove pavement.
Yep, and all that the asphalt that they torn up. There was a lot of residual, a lot of gravel.
Oh, true that.
It was nasty.
Yep, diminishing lanes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so if if the listeners can picture this.
You got forced into that little jump.
Correct.
Remember, it narrowed it. It would just.
And you're going.
You got cones on one side, and it's getting narrow on the other, and you got to make that jump.
Yep, you're going.
Yeah,
whether you want to or not.
You are. You go.
Yeah. It's what's that? 6 miles. Second exit on our trip. Get that freeway narrowing to one lane, but it doesn't say that we're moving to the shoulder. Literally,
right?
It just narrows us down, just like Jeff's saying, and with a basically like jumping a curb, a 6-inch jump from the roadbed that they've ground out up to the shoulder. And I'm thinking, oh my God, first it's the water bottle with a mile and a half. I'm like, here we go.
Always something.
And I'm thinking, oh, geez, here I'm the one with the water bottle. So we get back on the freeway and then we hit the construction.
We should have just turned around. We should have called it right there. Yeah. Set up for disaster. So long day. This was our longest day.
It was
9.5 hours in the saddle, guys. That doesn't include stopping quickly for lunch and for gas. So 9.5 hours just seat time, 640 miles. Our destination was from the Yakima, Washington area for me, and Sunnyside, which is very close, to Logan, Utah. And now, where did we stop that? We stopped at we just want to shout out. Now, if you guys go to the vlog, the videos, and it'll be in the show notes because I'm going to steal some of them. All the restaurants that we talk about, I have links in the show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/, whatever episode this number is, we'll get you those show notes. We're doing them for you. And the Edge Brewery. And this was just a shot in the dark. We got gas. And a lot of our restaurants, which is interesting when you're traveling, sometimes fun to do that. We would get into a town and I would just start Googling breweries. And I would look at, Google results and some stars. And of course, they have the money signs, how expensive it is. And we would just do the dartboard and see what we hit.
Right.
And hope it was good. And some we hit were good, some were okay. The Edge Brewery in Boise, Idaho was, I give them a shout out. Very quiet because it was a Monday. But it looked like a very cool place. The beer was good. You guys got any comments on that place?
It was a good place. Good. Boy, it was hot.
It was like, it was.
I don't know why.
Degrees.
I don't know why, but that's what I remember when we got there. Man, it was hot.
Oh, you bet. In fact, I wrote a note about that when we stopped for lunch, it was 94 when we stopped. When we left, it was 100.
So it came up 6 degrees. We were only there for like 45 minutes. That's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Good note, man.
Yeah. And then by the time we made it to Homestead, Idaho.
Good job for John.
Yeah. By the time we made, thank you. By the time we made it to Homestead, it was 106 on that freeway.
To Homestead.
Yeah.
Remind me where that was.
I think Homestead is east of Boise.
Okay, east of Boise. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Are you sure it was not Mountain Home?
Might have been. But I wrote Homestead for some reason.
Yeah, you might be right. Let's look it up. Let's Google it. Homestead, Idaho is what you're thinking?
Yeah.
It's not coming up.
I know Mountain Home is east of Boise, along the freeway.
Okay.
What do you know?
Where is Homestead City? Let's do that. Let's Google that. Florida. Well, we're coming up.
All
John,
right, well,
John, I'm not going to lie to you. We were not
there anyway.
Not in Florida.
I think Mountain.
Sorry.
My guess would be Mountain Home.
It was hot, and that's probably evidence of that. A little brain fry right there. Holy smokes. Yeah.
That's all right. No biggie.
Yeah. Boy, it was hot.
Yes, I do remember that too. It's and so Edge Brewery, we were pretty quick because we knew we had a 9.5 hour days. Here's the map. If you guys need it later, let me know. If you need me to zoom into something, just say pull up the map.
Good place, so I go again.
It was
that place for lunch.
Yep,
Good.
thumbs up, double thumbs up.
Good service too.
It was was good service. I would definitely go back there. So that's in the city of Boise, Idaho, guys. And then throttle frickin' down. And here's our map, guys. We covered all the way into Logan, Utah. Now, here's my recollection, and then you guys can jump in just off the top of my head right now, is there was a lot of nothingness that we rode through. A lot of heat and a lot of nothingness. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, where we were lucky, at least the last time I went through Boise going east, you're right, there is a lot of nothing, but it was coupled with, it was hot and very, very windy. It's kind of notorious for wind in that area of eastern Idaho. And so it was hot enough, as John said, but we were lucky that we really didn't have any wind, because that, it's like riding around Vegas where it's this total blast furnace. So weather-wise, we got lucky, but yeah, there's a lot of nothing. Where'd we stopped? Burley.
Oh, did we stop in Burley?
Yeah, we stopped in Burley to gas up.
Oh, you're right. See, I didn't even make a note on the gas stop. Yeah. Burley, Idaho. And then
kind of the last one before you turn into Utah.
Right. And this is the nothingness right here.
Yep.
Right. We're looking at a map for you listeners. Yeah. So we cut down and hit part of, through Idaho there. And then, where are we? Logan, Utah, right down there. And through Idaho, that area between Burley, right? Is that what you're thinking, Jeff?
Yeah, you want to, if you're going that direction, you want to make sure that you're topped off at Burley, because once you get into Utah, there's just not much until you get down near Salt Lake.
You're right, because we actually mapped that, didn't we? We were like, oh, crap.
Yep.
We better map out where possibility and how many miles. You're right.
Yeah, Twin Falls is down there too, but it's like 5 miles or somewhat off the freeway.
Out of the way.
It's a big town, but it's about 5 miles off. So Burley's right there.
And I think you called me on that too, because I didn't know that. Yeah.
Burley's just right there, just kind of the last stop before you get, if you're going into Utah.
Yep.
There's not much there until you get Salt Lake area.
Yeah. One positive, though, the speed limit was 80.
Yes.
That's so awesome.
Very nice.
Oh, it is really nice.
It is awesome, because then you can be up 85, 86 and just cruise control. You can make some time.
Exactly.
It's interesting, because the only time that I'd ever hit an 80-mile-an-hour zone up until this trip was there outside of Buffalo, Wyoming, going to Sturgis.
Oh, yeah, right.
That they upped that to 80 miles an hour, which was awesome.
Yes.
But now you have in Idaho, Montana, Utah, and it's great.
Everybody's kind of moving really that way.
Yeah. It just seemed to me like it really cut a lot of time out of the trip.
I agree.
Being able to do that.
I agree. That is very nice having those limits. Wish Washington would follow suit in some areas. That would be nice.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to.
No.
Now, and
Oregon either, for that matter.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Oregon either. And John, feel free to jump in anytime. I'm just kind of moving along if I forgot something. Now, after that long, desolate ride, I must say that when we finally got to Utah, it changed rapidly. This is my memory, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it changed rapidly to some mountainous. It cooled down.
Cooler, yes.
Oh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now dropping down, that was beautiful. Dropping down into Logan, the green like swampland ponds. I don't know what to call them.
That was a nice ride.
Yeah. It was reeds, and this is what I wrote. That
keep talking into the mic. There you go.
Cache Valley. I think that's how you say it.
Oh, is it okay?
Cache, Cache Valley. There's a lake with reeds. Very pretty is what
it was breathtaking.
Yeah, it was very, very
to me. Mm-hmm.
And just a really nice little valley there.
And I got some great GoPro coming down into that too. Coming by those, it's like I don't want to say ponds, a lot of ponds, but it's super green and coming into Mormon land. That's right. And we have a lot of Mormon listeners. God bless you guys. I work with a bunch where we just tease. But because we had made a few jokes at the convenience center about what we were going to go joking about, we were going to go get a picture in front of the temple or something. And what temple? There was some temple, right, John? Do you remember this?
Right.
And I was teasing Jeff. We're going to get arrested and kicked out.
Oh, yeah.
The Mormons are going to beat us if we go take a picture in front of the temple, dude. We're going to get beat up by a mob of Mormons. That's all we need. We're on the front page of Logan, Utah paper. Oh yeah, but dropping down in, I do remember that gorgeous. The city of Logan, to me, really cool town. I didn't know what to expect. That's my remembrance of it. Very clean.
Mm-hmm. Very clean. Nice little town. I was very impressed. It was just super clean.
Yeah, people were really nice.
They were very friendly.
Yeah, a place I could live, I think, not knowing a whole bunch about it. Yeah, clean. And they have they kind of, it's one of those cities that are trying to keep that look of whatever era. I didn't look into the history of Logan, Utah, but clearly when we pulled into the Best Western, our hotel for the night, clearly that little building where the office was like very cool architecture, and it was like no Best Western you've ever seen. It did not
at all.
And that's what I mean by that charm.
It had to have been something else. Best Western picked it up.
Oh, it was. Yes. That's what I'm saying. It was definitely something else.
Wasn't there another one? Didn't we pull up that intersection? Look, there was a Best Western off the left, and then it was a different one.
I don't know. You could be right.
I think there was two. But yeah, it's a good thing the sign was out front, because I would have not picked that out as a Best Western. Yeah.
I'm trying to I have it on video, but I'm not going to pull it up right now because it's a podcast, but I just remember the charm of that little front office, and what, it had a tower. Was it like a bell or?
Yeah, like it had a little bell tower in it.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of like a miniature Independence Hall,
right.
The bricks and the brick and the woodwork on it.
Yes. And that night we went to we'll give a shout out to that. That was another, throw a dart at the board and see where we land. What do you remember where we went on that, John? I didn't even make a note of that.
You know what? Neither did I, but
it's in the video.
And we walked there.
Wasn't it the Buffalo White?
No, we rode there.
We did ride it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we rode and we parked.
Yeah, we rode and parked.
Was it the White Buffalo or something? Here, I'll tell you real quick, because I did it in my notes in lawabidingbiker.com/vlog 30.
Yeah.
I do remember that we were by
the White Owl in Logan, Utah. Here, I'll pull up a picture of it for you guys so you'll remember.
Nice place, but I tell you what, we were clearly the oldest ones in there that night.
Oh yeah, the record pretty much stopped when we walk in. Who are these out of towners?
Yeah, what's a college town? What college?
God, yeah. Let's see. You're right.
Wouldn't be Utah State. They said that they're the Aggies or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember which one's in Logan.
Utah State University.
Utah State. Okay.
Yeah. I typed in what college is in Logan, Utah. So there you go. Yeah. Gotta love Google. All right, let's move on. And we recommend that, guys. That is the White Owl. If I just said it. Yep. White Owl. Is that what I said? Yep. The White Owl in Logan, Utah. And it was cool. Good service, good friendly people, good eats. Yeah. All right. So went to bed, getting up. Oh, you guys remember the nice guy? Didn't we talk to him out there?
Just bought his bike.
Bought his bike.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the cool things about law-abiding biker media is just the ability to meet so many different bikers. And I love documenting the stories, and people, just saw our bikes, and he was a pizza delivery guy. Yeah. And then he just we gave him stickers and cards, and he really wanted to talk bikes, and hopefully he'll listen to this, while he's running around. And he had just bought a bike, and me and Jeff talked to him for a while. I got some of it on video. And just the people you meet out on the road just because you're on a bike, a lot of people tend to come up, and just talk to us. And of course, that gives me an opportunity to film that kind of stuff. So, good guy. And that was one of our first meets of the trip. We had quite a few that we'll talk about. Now, let's just move to the next day, unless you guys got something to tie up to that. Let's move right on to day 2, right?
Right.
Day 2. And why don't you take this, John or Jeff, whoever. We pulled out, and I have some things to say about this, but I know you guys do too. Unless you want me to.
We headed out of town on 30 East into the Cache National Forest.
Good notes, buddy.
Beautiful. So that takes us right out of the valley, a short run into the canyon, Logan River Canyon, I think it is.
Hey, is this what Jeff said when we were leaving the hotel?
Throw all that aside. Hop on a bike and go.
You know what?
Did you hear him say that when he got out of bed?
I think I did hear him say that.
Okay, sorry, Jeff. I gotta do that once in a while. So 30 East, that was. What do you?
Beautiful. There was juniper trees, pine and aspen along the roadway and the riverbed as we kind of snake through this canyon. It's just almost like out of the movies where
Yeah.
the rocks or jagged rocks kind of overhanging in the canyon over you as you're riding through there. Beautiful, absolutely breathtaking.
I will say,
Rugged.
before you move past that, me personally, that was the highlight, one of the top highlights of that trip for me. That ride, that morning, with the temperature and the weather and the sun and that road and the foliage, for lack of a better term, the colors. I was absolutely, that is what I live all year and work for, is to ride in an environment like that. And you never know when you're going to hit it just right. Aside from the caveat being the Grand Tetons that evening. Okay. But if I had to compare those two, would probably, that I'm just saying, I was like, and then I know you're going to get to it coming up over the top, to add to it, Bear Lake.
Right.
Go ahead, John. I'm just telling you, me.
And if for bikers, this Highway 30, I wrote here, curves. And I'm telling you what, just awesome. And nothing was
well-maintained.
Oh yeah. Well-maintained road. And just these rolling curves up through this beautiful canyon, brings you up on top, and then you end up coming out literally overlooking Bear Lake.
Yep. Bear Lake was gorgeous, and we went to a lookout point up there. I got some video of it. Again, to end what was already, not end, but continue what was already a fantastic morning, to get up top there and be in our t-shirts already that early in the morning. We started out just a little bit cool, but still summer type weather. I don't know. I still have great memories of that, and like I say, definitely one of the highlights. And Bear Lake, just the icing on the cake for that. You guys have, if you're there, you have to ride that.
You have to ride it.
You have to
ride it. And the only way to see something like that is on a motorcycle. It really is. Because you're down in it. You're down in it. It's going up both sides, and so you're looking up over your shoulder and whatnot. You got to be careful about it, especially if it's like us. We've never been in there before, so you have to watch where you're going.
Yes,
you just do. You have to watch where you're going. I mean, that's all there is to it. But still, you're caught by the rock formations up high and whatnot. So you find yourself looking over your shoulder. You're going a little bit slower than you would. But you in a car, you're not gonna.
No,
unless you're hanging halfway out the window.
Not comparable. Still,
not at all. Not comparable
not at all.
It's if you make it down into that, you make it over into the the area of Utah, going up the north and south. Is that 25?
Ooh, I don't remember. 15. I wouldn't remember. I can pull the map if you really need to.
Yeah, because it goes all up and down the Salt Lake corridor, and Logan is tucked in there a little ways farther than I thought.
Right,
but going east out of there, that's
the bee's knees.
That's a must ride.
That's the bee's knees. Okay, so you guys enjoyed that as much as me.
Oh yeah,
because everybody has their moments. That was my moment. I wondered if it was for you guys too.
Oh,
that's probably one of the roads that I'll say. I don't know how many roads we'll mention in this two-part series, but I'm telling you that John nailed it. You gotta ride that. All right,
absolutely
agreed.
And dropping down into Bear Lake after you get on Lookout Point.
Beautiful. You
just drop, and switch back road, and you can look over that lake the whole damn time. You're right. Don't go off the road.
Right.
Yeah. You gotta, if you haven't been in there before, watch where you're going first and foremost. But as far as the scenery, it's look left, look right, everywhere you look.
And it's great pavement.
Yep.
The road conditions were really good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Most of the states have better roads than us here in Washington. You guys, is that just me? I think we talked about that. God, our roads suck here. A lot of roads. Maybe it's just the roads we hit in the other states, but they had some well-maintained roads.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, there was a little bit. You remember, there was a little bit of construction that was going on in that Logan Canyon.
Yeah, we got held up, and then a pilot car.
Yeah.
But that was okay because it kind of slowed us up. Like Jeff said, it gives you a chance to throttle back a little bit. You're able to look around a little bit more. I wasn't bothered at all by that. And the construction wasn't creating hazardous road conditions for motorcyclists, so I was good with it.
And we were headed to Fort Collins, right? I didn't mention that before we move on to the rest of that day. 7 hours 15 minutes in the saddle. That doesn't include, of course, that's in saddle time. 455 miles from Logan, Utah to Fort Collins. That's why we headed east. 30 out of Logan. So, all right, you want to go from there, John? What do you got?
Well, then we leave the Bear Lake area, and we're kind of making our way into some open land, and we end up
turned into hell real quick, didn't it?
Oh my God!
It turned from a awesome ride to let me get through this. Right?
No,
describe that.
Okay, so we end up, and there's I don't know what they have these structures out there every so often. I'm thinking it's oil rigs of some sort. I don't know if they're fracking or what they're doing out there. But anyway, we end up at Little America. And that's when we hook up with the I-80, right? And so, if you don't know, Little America is actually not a town, right?
I know. I thought it was.
Me too. It's on the map, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, listen here, guys, okay? All you bikers out there.
All the truckers listen right now already know. They're like, you idiot.
Yeah. So Little America is like the world's largest truck stop. They have restaurants.
It's a little city. It really is.
Yeah.
Even though it's not an incorporated city, it's a little city.
But it's on the map. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. I think it's on the map. Because there's nothing around.
Right.
Forever.
True that.
Oh, man.
After what we rode that morning, do you admit, I was like, how can you go from so much enjoyment to just throttling?
It was a letdown.
It was, okay.
It was.
It wasn't just me, huh?
No. But we talked about that before we made the I-80.
Yeah,
With
right.
all due respect, I-80, there's less than nothing along I-80.
Yes, but it was the fastest route.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And we had to shave off time.
They're always the fastest route. Yeah, that's
right.
The stretches there, of course, you get up to 80.
And
that's a good thing.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, as we're riding, by the time we hit Little America, it was already 96 degrees. And it was still pretty early in the day. I don't know if it was even lunchtime. Did we even eat lunch there?
No.
I have notes.
Rawlings?
That's right.
We
You're
did.
right.
We found a awesome, but we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Yes, in
But
Rawlins.
there was nothing there.
Yeah, that Little
But the
America
truck
was a
stop.
Gatorade break.
Right.
Yeah.
It was.
It was a quick drink, and we talked to a few folks there who saw our bikes and wanted to chat, and that was pretty cool. That was from into the bowels of hell, so to speak.
Exactly.
Hot as shit and nothing around.
Boring.
Well said.
I-80 in Wyoming. And then there was some road construction on I-80, which did not help. Yeah, in fact, I remember at one point I'm on I-80 and kind of following with you guys here, and I see this lone antelope, on about 50 yards off the side of the freeway. I mean, I think we're stuck in traffic. At that time, I think we were down to 40 miles an hour, and I'm looking at this antelope. He's looking at me. I'm.
Did he wink at you?
Well, I'm part Indian, and so
He was talking to you.
That's exactly right. That's what my wife says. She says, I need my feathers, man.
You do. He's rocking his head.
Oh, yeah.
It's sweet.
So, my wife says, how do you talk to the animals? All the animals. And I said, I don't know. You just kind of, whatever. But this antelope and he's standing out there and I'm rolling by and we just have this moment, and I'm sitting, and I'm on the bike and I'm just sweating my balls off. Can I say that?
Yeah, you can say.
Okay.
We're a explicit podcast now. We don't get nasty, but I just said shit a couple times, I think, so we don't bleep it or nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
We're rated.
So I'm sitting here on the bike and I'm thinking, this sucks. And I'm looking at this antelope and he looks at me and he says, this sucks. I'm sorry. If you're from Wyoming, I apologize, but I'm telling you what, it sucked. And it was over 100 degrees. It was horrible. Anyway, so me and the antelope had a moment. It sucked.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think I remember that particular antelope. No, he did not wink at me, but I saw him waving your way.
Yeah.
But, that's another area you have to be careful. We had to map out gas. Because you get into Wyoming and there is nothing, and you really want to map out your gas and how many miles you can go. Now we ended up in Rawlins, Wyoming, a little thriving metropolis, not of Rawlins, Wyoming. Some interesting towns in Wyoming. Really feels. I don't know what your guys' take is on Wyoming. I know I've been through parts of it before on motorcycle trips, but really feels like it takes you back in time a bit. Like it's somewhat separate from the rest of the U.S. I don't know if that seems like it is. It's just like, it's not the faster pace, and and maybe I'm generalizing. Don't beat me up for that, but that's just the sense I get when I'm there. Now, we Googled real quick in there, and man, we hit a gold mine, guys. To me, I Googled breweries in there, and I definitely want to give a shout out. We ended up at Bucks, Bucks, not Antelopes, John, but Bucks. And have you stayed in touch with that Antelope, by the way?
No.
Did you guys exchange numbers or anything?
Well, we did, but he just he's not taking my calls anymore.
He's dead.
I'm kind of.
Wyoming doesn't have phones, bro.
That's what the deal is.
But Bucks was a little brewery, and remember when we were pulling in? The Google map was a little bit off, and I ended up going to another across the street to a local bar. Do you remember the drunk patron?
Oh, yeah, boy, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That old boy was staggering across the street.
What time was it? Just lunchtime?
Yeah, it was like 11.
This guy was barely upright.
He was schnookered.
And he walked across to another bar.
He did. There must not be over-service rules in Rawlins, Wyoming. And we were like looking at each other, and I backed up to it because my Google map, I thought that was it. And I go, this is Bucks. It's telling me to come here. Mm-hmm. And we're like, oh, this is just like what you see in the movies, man.
He was hammered.
You go in the bar and they're all going to be just drunk, shit-faced, and the frickin' cook's going to be shit-faced. And anyways, I look to my left and I'm like, then I see the Buck sign. I'm like, oh, good. Thank God. That looks a lot less shady than where we're going.
Yeah.
Anyways, you want to describe Bucks, one of you? Your recollection of it?
Gosh, in a nutshell, it was pure cowboy.
It was
pure cowboy.
And it was decorated so cool.
It was.
They had, my recollection, again, I don't have notes on this, but I guess I do have a few diamond plate ceilings. Mm-hmm. They had plates. Every inch of every wall is posters and plates and beer cans and pictures.
Waitresses
and
were
metal signs.
Wranglers and boots.
Yeah. And the bar was really cool
pure
looking.
Cowboy.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, it was pure cowboy, but I'll have to say this. The place was light. It wasn't like going in some dark place.
No.
It was light. It was clean. It was inviting, So I'd be very comfortable to take my family.
Absolutely.
And it looked to be, I hate to say it, probably one of the more modern, well-maintained restaurants there in town that I saw. Because
you could tell they did business there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And good. It was big.
Yeah.
Good food.
Yeah, it was really good food.
Outstanding. The service, the beer. Like I say, the decorations alone, I just walked around and just walked into the bathroom. I got a lot of video going through there. It's a quick video. You guys probably saw my documentary, but I don't know. I just really like the way it was decorated in the ambiance.
The ass end of that deer hanging.
That's right. That's right.
Over the wall. That was good.
I think I said, John,
right as you come in.
I hope they're not serving that for lunch.
Yeah. Right. You meet it right when you come in.
You do.
Oh, yeah.
That set the tone. It was cool.
I'm telling you what, that is such an inviting opportunity to be inappropriate in so many ways, right? With that deer ass hanging out of the wall.
I'm just telling you guys right now, if Rob and Cuz and some of those guys would have been there,
they'd have walked right up to that
and just started doing their business up in it. We joked about it. We didn't go that far, but you know what I'm talking about. Those guys
all know what you're talking about.
They'd have started just doggy styling that thing, and it would have just been totally pornographic after that.
It's glad they didn't make it true.
Would that be called deery style? I don't know. Doggy, deer. Well, I mean, it's
that is one.
I guess
straight up for John right there. Straight up for John. I love it. All right, so we got out of there, and then it was pretty much through to there, from my recollection. We were still making our way to Fort Collins.
Well, we had those guys that they
told us
before or after.
Yeah.
I think it was before we went in.
It was after.
It was after.
No, you're right. It was before. Nope. Because then we started getting the map out in the restaurant.
Yeah, and they just walked up and started talking to us. Asked if we were.
Yeah, so some nice bikers, right?
Right.
Again.
How are you getting there? We said, we're going on 80. And they were.
Yeah, they're saying you don't want to do that.
No, don't do that. So, they gave us alternate routes, which knew about. Well, at least the one up above, I'd seen that before. I knew about that one. The one that they were describing that we take down below whatnot, I wasn't familiar with that. But
Right.
They kind of had, the thing about it was is that there was about 3 guys there, wasn't it?
Yes.
They all had
a little bit different
opinion about just exactly how long that side trip would take.
To add.
One guy said 30 minutes, and it was anywhere from 30 minutes up to about an hour and a half.
That's right.
So there was no question that it was a beautiful ride, but how much it was going to take.
More than taking I-80.
Yeah. Yes. They just kind of left it up in the air. That's when we just opted just to continue with up to, I think it was 287 that cut down to Fort Collins.
Yeah, I can't remember.
That was our original plan. We stuck with that. Yeah.
Right. And
that's when we ran into smoke.
Yes.
But we took one of those alternate routes later on when we left, but we opted not to do the one down below because we didn't know if we were going to be 30 minutes later or 2 hours later. So
Right.
But do you remember that beautiful custom street glide that you never saw? Did you see?
No,
you
showed it to me. You pointed. Yeah.
Oh, that was a nice.
No, I saw it. Never mind. No, I did not see that. Yeah. You're right.
The one that said that it would only take 30 minutes, it explains why when you saw that street glide that he had. There's no question that, it's a short trip for him. That was a beautiful bike.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Beautiful.
And just some nice guys came up, again, just bikers helping bikers. And that is that's what I love about the law-abiding biker culture so very much is you can go anywhere and 99% of the bikers out there, you hit it up and every biker in every town wants to help you with, local rides and routes and things like that. Now, I get why their time was probably off because we get used to our local areas like you do. And you ride them so much, you never have to look them up. And you're like, oh, yeah, it doesn't seem that far to me. It's only like, and you don't really Google map it to go, actually, it's just fun. It's an hour, but it feels like 30 minutes, Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that can throw us off because we had a long day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it would have.
And it was still hot.
Oh, yeah. It was still 100.
Bucks had good air conditioning. And so that was a nice reprieve also.
Well, we stuck to our original plan, and we still didn't get there to what was it, 5 or 6?
Yeah, it was into Fort Collins.
Yeah, so we would have been, possibly 7 or 8 if we'd have taken those side routes.
Yeah, yeah.
Which would have been a lot prettier, but a lot later.
And a lot cooler, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah,
But we needed to get into Fort Collins because it was already a 7-hour, 7.5-hour day. Now, dropping into Fort Collins, this was our ultimate destination for this trip because this is where we wanted to get to, right?
Right.
And we got there, as you guys can see, from day 1 and day 2, is we throttled down. We did some long days. We had to shave this trip. We usually do a 7-day to 10-day trip, and this one was shaved down to 5, right? We shaved down Monday through Saturday, 6.
Monday through Saturday, yeah. Yeah, we arrived home on Saturday.
So we shaved it down. And so what that means is when Rob planned this with Ride Planner, don't forget, guys, if you want to use Ride Planner, lawabidingbiker.com/Ride Planner. We have the #1 tutorial video on how to use Ride Planner and all the tricks and tips that we've experienced and gained over the years. And we'll show you also not only how to use that software, it's free. Just get a free Harley-Davidson account, and anybody can use it, even John, who rides an Indian.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, obviously. It's just a mapping software. And then you can download it, and we show you how to do that, and then upload it into your boombox system or any other Harley-Davidson approved and/or marketed external GPS system. It won't actually go into some other units because the way it's coded, it's a proprietary thing. They want you to use it with their approved. Now, Harley does approve Garmin, but they sell them and they have the Harley logo on them, so that. Anyways, I just want to give that disclaimer. But if you're using one of those or the boombox system, of course, we can show you how to do that. Again, head over to lawabidingbiker.com/Harley boombox. Our boombox videos, Ride Planner, all that. But that's why Rob had to manipulate that trip and basically have us just saddle time the first 2 days so we could get to destination and then spend some time there. So now it was 100 plus, like 100, and you got notes.
104, wasn't it? 104?
It was 106.
John's got the notes.
No, it was only 104.
No, I wrote it down. I know it was 106.
If it had been 104, I'd have been fine, Jeff, but it was 106.
It was only 104. 106. Come on.
It was hot.
In fact, more than 104.
In fact, when we were riding, I was listening to the weather radio, and they were saying that it was record highs in many of the cities, surrounding cities there, as we're riding into Fort Collins. record highs for that day.
Yes, you're right. It was record highs.
So it wasn't just us. It was hot, hot, hot. But you say 104?
Only 104, yeah.
I say 106.
No way. No way it could have been that high.
Oh, no. It was hot. Can we settle on, just kind of agree as 105? There you go.
Okay.
I'll let you settle on that. 105.
Okay, I'll go along.
Because it makes a big difference when it's over 100.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied now.
Especially just riding into
stop and go.
Stop and go.
Oh my God.
The heat coming off the bikes.
Oh,
the
God.
EITMS was kicking in. It was cool city riding in. We kind of came in the back way, which was a little ghetto at first. And I was like, this is kind of ghetto. And then all of a sudden we, bam, got out of that and right into the heart downtown.
Yeah, where we stayed was just right across the street from Colorado State.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
and there were some.
It was hot.
Fine-looking girls.
I didn't see any.
Whatever.
I didn't notice.
Whatever.
No,
there were some fine-looking girls in cowboy boots. I got them on GoPro on the documentary. Oh, Jeff, you saw it.
It's a college town. What can you say? Right out there? Yeah, and it's just, well.
I was just trying to keep up.
We're going to get to that later as far as, John and I went up to what was that place?
That's all I felt, Jeff.
It's a brewery later on.
Oh, yeah.
Later on.
Yeah, we walked up
just
to
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neighborhood.
That night?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was after we got back from dinner, but we got to talk about that.
Yes, we do.
That was a good place.
Okay, well, let's just, real quick, and then let's talk about that. That was a cool place. We got back, and I do want to shout out to, real quick, to the live audience. We are testing YouTube Live via Google Hangouts, and I know there's viewers right now. And if you guys can go to the chat, there's supposed to be a group chat, and just let me know, say yes or something, comment in the chat. That way I know that it's working, because I'm kind of beta testing this to see if it's a platform we're going to use. I just need to know if you guys can actually chat. If you can't, or you're blocked for some reason, or something's not working and you can't actually type anything, please just email me at admin@lawabidingbiker.com and let me know. I'll put that. Oops.
That was a failure of epic proportions.
Never mind that. Unacceptable. Yeah, we may have failed on Google Hangouts. I have no idea. But anyways, email me at admin@lawabidingbiker.com, and I will type it in right now. There we go. It's in there. And just let us know, say, hey, we couldn't call in, we couldn't join, we couldn't text or anything like that. You guys are going to have to help me because I haven't done enough research on this Google Hangouts. So with that said, let's go to that night. Let me say real quick, the patrons. So again, guys, we love our patrons. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Get signed up. Reason is now when we travel, we have patrons across the United States, across the world. And in fact, next year we're going to do a Canada. We're not going to get into that yet. We'll talk a little bit about that for next year's trip. But you guys need to get signed up, because the reason is we put this out to all our patrons where we were going and kind of where we're going to be. And if they wanted to meet up, then we'd meet up with them just like we did last year in Sturgis. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold here. And we had a patron that was able to take the day off, Al Long. Shout out to Al Long. He's from the surrounding Denver, Colorado area. And anyways, we communicate directly with our patrons and in that private Facebook group, patron-only Facebook group. And that's how we hooked it up. And we may be coming to your town next. And the only way we can do that is to have you in the private Facebook group, and you can pledge a certain level over there and get in that group. And then we have contact with you, and then we get phone numbers. And that I called, and that's on the documentary. I called Al right there from the hotel room, Al Long, and told him, hey, we've been emailing, we're in town, and I set up the plans for the next day to ride, and he was going to give us a tour. That's what's so cool, is to be able to have patrons, local patrons that live in the areas and know the areas, and the hospitality and their ability to not have to have me guess what we're going to ride around the area, to take us on the neatest, greatest places and routes, and just to meet with them personally, because we know so many of this. John, and Jeff, you're in the private Facebook group, to meet them in person and know the person behind the profile, right? Is what I was looking for, behind the profile. And these are real people, and to just spend time with them and know them personally and know about their families and to ride with them. What an experience. And we are going to talk about that the next day, John, because I know you have a lot to say. And we'll talk about what Jeff was doing that day. But I called him that day from the hotel room, and that's exactly how we do with our patrons, guys. Straight up phone call, one-on-one. And we worked out the nitty gritty final details about when and where we were going to meet the next day. That's right.
And this is the way it sounded to me. He says, "Hey, how long? Let's get whiskey drunk."
Definitely, man.
Smoke some pinners.
Get whiskey. Oh, and Al. Oh, we're going to talk about Al.
Oh, yeah.
You had a good time. Now, before this is released, John, before this episode, it's live, of course, but before it's released, there'll be another episode before this one even comes out. Okay. That episode that's coming out is our, you didn't know. This is news to you.
Yeah, it is. I had this.
So you will have heard it.
If you're not watching, I have this surprised look on my face. Okay, go ahead.
Right.
So.
Got to wet my whistle. So the episode that will come out before this comes out in podcast format. It's already been edited. And so you'll need to listen to that before this comes out. You'll enjoy it. And what it was, I'm trying to think if I'm getting ahead. Anyways, I'll talk about it a little bit more.
All right.
But remember the conversation we had at lunch?
I do.
That's going to be a podcast.
Uh-oh.
So, no, don't worry about it. No.
I don't get any insight on this?
I will. I will. In part, it's coming up in part 2.
Oh, okay.
In part 2 of this 2-part Colorado trip series. I was getting ahead of myself, and I'm thinking it will be better fitted for us to talk about the lunch we had with them.
All right.
That's a little teaser. It's a little teaser.
This is the lunch you had with Al, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I wasn't there. Okay.
So, why don't you talk about that night? So we got done with that. We were hot, sweaty. We needed cold beer. And where did we end up? Tell me about this.
We ended up at a place called Coopersmith. Now, I have family in Fort Collins. Cousin Sherry is her name, and her husband Nate. And I called Sherry when we got there, and of course the original. I don't know if we covered this on. The original setup was that Rob had set up Fort Collins as our destination, and he liked the idea of going around because Fort Collins has a number of really good breweries. Noteworthy is the Belgium.
Yeah, New Belgium. New Belgium.
Okay, Fat Tire's made, et cetera, et cetera. Lots of
Fat Tire, yeah.
Well, she was familiar with all of them and what they could or couldn't do as far as food service and whatnot. So you had looked up a lot of them. Coopersmith was one of them, and she gave that one a thumbs up. And so we decided that we were going to go have dinner at Coopersmith, and they joined us there.
Yes.
Right. So we ended up a place called Coopersmith, which was, I guess it was right downtown Fort Collins. I guess it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was.
It's right downtown.
It's right in the heart of downtown.
Yeah. It was a really neat area.
It is. That area is neat.
That whole area is down. Coopersmith is kind of tucked into.
Well,
I don't want to call it a strip mall.
That would be my first term for it, though, too. Because lack of better term,
but I mean,
you got to walk into it. It's a square,
it's a square.
Yeah,
but
it seemed like it's one of those old downtowns that's been revitalized with what used to be shops and maybe small factories and whatnot, was now eateries like Coopersmith's, and it was really neat. Of course, you can walk in there and walk around, and
huge room full of pool tables. So it's a draw for the college crowd,
right?
So there was quite a few people when we went in there, and it was Tuesday night.
It was.
It was full.
Yes,
but Sherry and Nate eventually joined us there, and it was a nice dinner.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Good beer too.
It was good beer, and the food was good, and the service was good. I'm just looking some up here, guys. So bear with me for a second. I'm looking at our live. So this is us live because I'm still testing it. I wanted to make sure what our audience was seeing. So if our audience, they're seeing, that's what they're seeing. You see that, Jeff? Sorry, I'm testing a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thanks, audience, for bearing with me. See, there's a little delay, but I just was curious. I don't know if they can chat or not. Let me see here. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out, but at least that's what they're seeing. I just don't know if they have the ability to chat. I didn't see the ability to chat there, which is why no one's chatting here. God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's part of the fun of live.
It is.
And that's why I gotta figure out what we're gonna do here for. Oh well. All right. Hey John, why don't you pick this up, or Jeff, you can too. Of course, we absolutely love our patrons, Jeff. That's we get to go around and meet these guys and ride with them and get to know them in the Facebook group, but we never balk at a flat donation. If that's the only way somebody can support us here at Law Abiding Biker, we understand. lawabidingbiker.com/donate. Do you want to thank these donations right here?
Sure.
You need your spectacles?
No. I can.
Sure?
I can actually read the screen more better than I can read your phone there.
Awesome.
Special thanks to Stephen Whalen of Raymond, New Hampshire. Also, big thanks, shout out to Douglas, and I'm going to try this, Doug. Neathawk.
Yeah. Wonder if he's a fellow Indian.
Of Rollingsford, New Hampshire. I don't know how far that is from Raymond.
Yeah.
And then also big thanks to Juan Cruz of Moreno Valley, California.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it. lawabidingbiker.com/donate. Get involved. Do it now. Take action. It helps assure this show can keep moving on down the road. Puts a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank so we can keep everything moving on down the road, guys, because each little bit helps as we grow here at Law Abiding Biker Media. You guys are a direct result of why we're growing. And then, of course, all the blood, sweat, and tears. And these guys riding down 2 hours, 2.5 hours. John riding up, working schedules. That's why we do it, guys. Now, we're going to close out here in a second. Let's set up day 3. Right. We're not going to go into day 3, but this is the night we get done. Cooper Smith's. Yep.
And John and I snuck
double
out.
Thumbs up for you?
Double thumbs up.
Yeah.
Absolutely, okay. Yeah. And John and I snuck out to a place later on that night. Did you jot down what the name of the place was?
I did not.
Yeah, it was about a mile walk, wasn't it? It seemed like
Yeah. It was
which was
a good thing.
Which was a good thing, yeah.
Yeah. But it was a I'd call it a tap house. They had how many pools there? I don't know, like 30 taps there. And so we perused their offerings.
But yeah, Cooper Smith, double thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And so while you're doing that,
go ahead. Speak.
Day 3, we end up actually splitting apart. And so Jeff ends up visiting going to visit your family there in the area.
Right. And I have more family south of Denver, so they came up.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. And
got together with a bunch of cousins.
And then of course, Ryan and I, we go meet with Al Long, the Patron there.
That's what we were planning on.
That's right.
Right.
So,
we're setting up day 3.
That's right.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. And then we eventually get back together. We finish up our day ride with Al, and we meet up with Jeff and your cousins. They're at
for dinner.
At Sherry's house for dinner. And and that's basically the layout or the framework of day 3. I don't know if the listeners know that every morning, every day of our rides starts with, I don't know if you want to call it a tradition or a ritual. Maybe it's a ritual, okay? Ryan has to. And it can't be just any coffee shop. It's got to be a Starbucks.
Oh. So when I'm out of town, because you never know what kind of coffee you're going to get, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know. It might be hot, might be black, and might be in a cup. And then may not. I don't know.
You're right. I do, because it's hit and miss. Now I know my coffee stands around here. For the most part. But I've ended up at some do you guys know what coffee? Do you know how to make coffee? Because this is not tasting like coffee here.
So our discussion is, okay, so when are we leaving? What time? And so if it's decided 8 o'clock, then the second discussion every morning on a ride is, okay, now we're going to be kickstands up at 8 o'clock from here at the hotel or from Starbucks, and then that's the second discussion, right? And then the third discussion is, well, which Starbucks, and then of course Ryan plots that out, and decides which one we're going to go to, but that is our morning ritual.
Yeah, it is. Kickstands up from the motel,
Ryan
2 Starbucks, and kickstands up from there too.
That's exactly right.
I'm okay with it though.
Right?
Oh yeah, it works. It's good.
Works, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
My wife and I do the same. We do the same thing when we're on the road. One of the first things we do, wherever it is that we end up, is look up where Starbucks is, so we know where we're going to be in the morning. We don't do the ritual of, okay, this time we're going to be kickstands up, and this time we're leaving Starbucks.
Right.
But the idea of finding one and getting there the next day, oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to have the kickstart.
Sure do. You know, and day 3, Ryan and I have an interesting interaction at Starbucks.
Oh, yes, we do. And we got to talk about that. Oh, yeah. We got some fun stuff for day 3. So let's take it out with there. Thanks for bearing with me and you guys having the conversation there. With that said, let's take it out. And don't forget, thanks for tuning in to part 1 of 2. And then we'll get to 2. I know it's hot up here, guys. I told you it gets a little warm. Glad you put on a different shirt, Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
I told you. It's AC, and it was fairly comfortable when we started, but when you get all the mixers and the computers and 3 guys up here, it tends to get a little balmy in the summer. And
that's right. Oh, yeah.
I just have not been able to afford to get extra AC up here.
And it feels like it's about somewhere between 104 and 106 out there.
Pretty dang close.
There, I don't know.
Pretty close.
John,
like that.
he was digging at you there. I'm not going to lie to you. He was digging
was
at
you. Was that a dig? That was a dig?
That was a dig. I'm just telling you that right now. All right, guys, so call to action. Don't forget, guys, if you need a cell phone or GPS motorcycle mounting solutions, get the Biker Gripper Guy's sexiest, sleekest, strongest cell phone and GPS motorcycle mount on the market. That's right. Use it to mount your cell phone, GPS devices, radar detectors, EFI tuners, and so much more. Tried and tested like all our products right here by the law-abiding biker crew. We believed in it so much we stamped our own logo on it, guys. Available exclusively in the Law-Abiding Biker store. Choose from several different models. Black chrome, control mount, universal mount, all that kind of guys stuff. lawabidingbiker.com/store. Big Daddy Kane is ready to ship it to you. Got him in stock. 2 to 3 days USPS. You'll have it in your greasy little hands. That's right. What do you think about that, John?
Hey, I tell you what, it's a great item. It works. And I tell you what, you ride a bike, you want one of these on there.
You got to have it. It's a must-have.
Yeah.
It's a must-have. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. And if you want to hit the Lab podcast hotline phone number, 509-731-3548, or check your message. We may play it for an upcoming episode. We'll have to see. Or leave an internet voicemail from anywhere in the world for free right from your computer microphone. That's lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail, guys. And if you can't support us financially via Patron or donations, you can still help us. Rate us in iTunes or Stitcher Radio. lawabidingbiker.com/iTunes or /Stitcher Radio. Helps us bump us up in the rankings so more bikers around the world can find us and join this thing we call the Biker Revolution. Peace out.